Mr. Steinitz, thank you very much for speaking with us.
Welcome.
Last week, Israel and Turkey reached understandings trying to put an end to a very long rift between the two countries. At first, it was presented as a serious step towards reconciliation, but meanwhile, we're hearing voices both in Ankara and Jerusalem trying to chill the enthusiasm down. So how close are we to rapprochement?
Well, I hope that we are very close. I think that the normalization is important. The normalization between Israel and Turkey is in the interest of both sides and the Middle East in general. We have some strategic issues and interest. For example, both Turkey and Israel would like to prevent a stronger Iranian presence in Syria, and now the new issue of the gas. I think that once it became clear after several years of delay that Israel is serious again about the development of its gas fields in the Mediterranean, it's helped to, it's encouraged Turkey to promote the normalization once more, because once it's clear that Israel will export gas in the near future, in a few years' time, and then Turkey and Egypt and Greece and other countries in Europe are interested.
But there were voices here in Israel that said that the announcement about warming ties with Turkey was designed just to justify the controversial gas framework that the government passed last week.
First, it's a very good gas framework or roadmap, and it's good not only because it ends several years of unnecessary and very damaging, actually, delays that cost us dozens of billions of shekels, but because it's good in any international comparison. The people of Israel will get more revenues from their natural resources than the average in other Western countries, and will pay lower price for the gas, for natural gas, than the average in Europe. So it's a very good deal.
Israel has been very cautious since Russia increased its military presence here in the region and trying not to anger Moscow. Wouldn't a move like this anger the Kremlin?
I don't think that they might have some reservations, especially taking into account the fact that despite the rift or despite the tension between Turkey and Russia, Russia did not close its embassy in Ankara. Russia and Turkey did keep their full diplomatic relations, and they are talking to each other. So if there are diplomatic relations between Russia and Turkey, I don't think that they can resist or object any diplomatic normalization between Israel and Turkey.
Is the money and the gas important enough to overlook the Turkish support of Hamas?
I think it almost goes without saying. You cannot and shouldn't host a terrorist organization. Hamas is a declared terrorist organization, not just by Israel, but by most of Europe, by the United States of America. And I think it's wrong for Turkey to host Hamas people. Maybe they were not fully aware of Hamas activities inside Turkey.
What kind of signal does it send that Erdogan meets with Mashal just a few days after we hear about this warming of relations with Israel?
Well, we don't like anybody to meet with Mashal, but I still hope, despite this event, that the normalization between Turkey and Israel will actualize soon, because I really think that it's important for both sides.
Well, you mentioned several countries that Israel is now negotiating with: Egypt, Cyprus, and Greece. All of them share a sense of enmity towards Turkey. So how would they react to this reconciliation?
Look, the whole Middle East is extremely complicated. And yours, the countries you just mentioned, Israel, Egypt, Turkey, Greece, and Cyprus are, the more stable country. This is the better side of the Middle East. But I think, that although there are some tensions, this is our right and interest to normalize relations with Turkey. And by the way, with regard to Greece, I think that the Greek Prime Minister Tsipras visited Turkey, is speaking with the Turks. I think that there is very significant effort to end the conflict in Cyprus. I think that this might be very close. And anyhow, I think that, it might be even in the best interest of Cyprus that we will have a gas pipe from Israel to Turkey, because then they can have Aphrodite, the Cypriot gas field, connected to this system. And I assume that they also prefer to have some export options and not only one.
You as energy minister, do you believe that this gas discovery in the East Mediterranean has the potential to overcome the very strong geopolitical differences in the region?
I think it's an additional tool. Yeah, I don't think that gas alone will resolve problems, but I think it's a very important incentive for neighboring countries to connect with Israel, to improve relations with Israel. It's clear, I think, to all experts that if we will resume, not just develop the already existing gas fields, Leviathan and Karish Tanin, but if, and that is my intention, if in few months' time we will resume gas exploration in our economic water, the prospect is that we might very likely triple the quantity of gas. So we might find in the next 3, 4, 5 years few other Leviathans or Tamars. And then really the Eastern Mediterranean basin might be the replacement to the Northern Sea now. And especially if there will be some new discoveries also in Egypt and in Cyprus and in Israel, it's very likely that this will take place. Altogether, it might be something more or less equivalent to the Northern Sea. So the Eastern Mediterranean basin, with Israel in its center, might be the next thing, the next important source of natural gas for South and West Europe.
Okay, Mr. Steinitz, thank you very much.
Welcome.